It is that time of the month again, and we're playing crystrons. Obviously, we're playing crystrons. We're always playing crystrons. And it is in the middle of the season. It's the 17th, so even if we're not playing a really try-hard deck, we should be able to get to King of Games without too much of a problem. So this is the deck I'm using this time. I have been experimenting with a lot of different builds of crystrons. Crystrons with synchros, crystrons with links, crystrons with onomads, crystron with tenyis. This is a build that I think is probably the most competitive version that you could build. I think the one with Sea Stealth Attack is in a completely different genre because it relies on a different win con. But I think the other most reliable way that you could win with crystrons is by playing links. As you can see, we're not playing a lot of synchros at all. We're just playing a single one. That's the only synchro we're playing. And everything else is going to be link monsters, because in case you didn't know, even though crystrons is really focused on synchro summoning and using their tuners to synchro summon during their opponent's turn, their monsters have a bunch of graveyard effects, and that makes them a really good link climbing engine. For example, Self-New gives you a free summon from deck, Rose Nyx gives you a free token, and the Turtle gives you a free special summon from your hand. So there is a lot of different stuff you could do just by using the crystron non-tuners to gain a lot of advantage by spamming monsters on field. But it gets even better when you pair it with the other smaller engines that we're also playing in this deck. First of all, of course, we're playing Undyne. Undyne is just really good in crystrons overall. It works really well by just sending any water monster from a graveyard. It usually sends Self-New, but sometimes if you already have Self-New, you will be sending Fistburn. It grabs you a free tuner in hand, which usually will be a brick, but because we're playing Majestic Light, we can shuffle it back to give ourselves a Majestic Dragon on field, which is another free link material. And Majestic Dragon is not once per turn. The skill is not once per turn. Not once per duel, I mean. So it can be used by returning one tuner monster in your hand to play a Majestic Dragon. It is once per turn, but it's not once per duel. So we're playing two. Not just because it is not once per duel, it's because if we draw a Majestic Dragon, we can always just return it to summon the second one from deck, so we don't brick. And then we're also playing Mermail stuff, Abysstius at 3. This is also a free summon from hand and also helps you discard stuff that you already drew. So if you have a Fistburn in hand, you can discard it to summon your Abysstius. And Abysstius can be searching Abyss Spike or your Abyss Gund. So if you haven't used your normal, you will be searching Abyss Spike, and Abyss Spike grabs you a Fistburn or a Abyss Gund. Or if you already used your normal summon, you could just immediately search Abyss Gund, and you can very easily discard this card using your Nightmare monsters and get a free summon from a graveyard as well. So this entire deck is just based around having a lot of free monsters on field to do your link summoning. Our next mini engine is going to be our Tenyi engine. We're playing free Vishuda, which is a really good form of removal to remove both monsters and back row. It works really well against Yubel because it just shuffles their fusion monsters back to the extra deck without triggering their effects and bypassing Neo's fusion. It bounces Ultimate Nightmare without needing to worry about its effects. And also we could play Vessel for the Dragon Cycle because, in case you didn't know, the Rose Nyx token is a non-effect monster. Even though it does have the restriction of not being able to be tributed, that is technically not an effect. So we could use both effects of a Vessel to both mill the Vishuda and get a free search, and the card we're searching will be Adhara, because it's both a tuner and has a really good graveyard effect to grab you back banished Tenyi. So if you search your Adhara, you can either just shuffle it back with your skill to grab a free monster, or you can just discard it with your nightmares and then use its graveyard effect to grab back a banished Vishuddha for next turn, or just another card for you to discard. And to also play the Vishuddha as the first thing you do, we're also playing a Monk of the Tenyi. So in the beginning of your turn, you can immediately just make your Vishuddha and then link the link 1, so you can just immediately get rid of one of your opponent's back row or monsters before you commit. And it doesn't use a normal summon, which is pretty good. And finally, it is Mind Control. This card is crazy. And this card is the reason we're not playing a Scrap Recycler, because it is both limited to 3, and Mind Control is just so much better, especially in a link-focused build like the one we're playing. We can just steal whatever our opponent has and just link it away. And it also counters a lot of annoying monsters like Crystal Wing that negates your monster effects. And for the extra deck, we're just playing a lot of links. Obviously, Inzektron is still really good, even though we're playing a link-focused version, because we could just make a Rai on turn 1 and then synchro summon the Inzektron in our opponent's turn, and there's guarantees that we won't lose, and then during our next turn we can just combo off and break our opponent's entire board. We're playing Link Kuriboh because some of our links require effect monsters, like Rastaliger especially, so I cannot use tokens, so we could just link the Rosenix token away to make Link Kuriboh before we use it to make our Rastaliger. And also, we're playing the Monk of the Tenyi, as I said, to facilitate the Tenyi engine. And then we're playing Security Dragon as another way to counter a lot of annoying monsters like the Yubel stuff. It bounces without destroying, and also if your opponent has a downwards pointing arrow, we could just link summon in that arrow and immediately use its effect without needing another monster that you control to point into the Security Dragon. For example, if our opponent has an Equimax, it has an arrow that points towards our field, so we can link summon Security Dragon on that zone and immediately get its co-link effect. Next is Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn, which needs no introduction, but the discard effect is especially beneficial in our deck because we have so many graveyard effects, and we have so many ways of getting cards to our hand for us to discard. Adhara gets us free cards, we have a Fistburn that grabs us free cards, and Undying gets us a free controller to discard. We have Abystus and Abyss Spike to grab ourselves the Abyss Gun, which is a even better discard because it has an effect when it's discarded. And just all around, we have just so many stuff that we could discard with our nightmares that we have really no reason to not play them. And then here is our actual boss monster, which is a Rastaliger. If you've seen any of my old Crystron link-based videos, you know that Rastaliger is the true boss monster of our deck. This monster is really, really good at dealing enough damage for lethal, because it's a link 4, which only requires 2+ monsters except tokens, and it just has an effect that just gives it enough attack for lethal on its own. So you could target a Nightmare Unicorn that you use for its Link Summon and just boost its attack up to 4200, and that will be enough to just attack once for lethal. And also plays around White Princess, which does come up in one of the games when I was going to King of Games with this deck. And also it has another effect to pop a card on the field if for some reason your opponent still has cards even after you activate both Nightmare's effects and Security Giant and Vishuddha. If your opponent still has something on the field, you could just pop it with your Rastaliger's effect to tribute a monster that it points to. And in very, very, very edge case scenarios where your opponent has a really tough monster like Leo Dancer that can't be targeted and can't be destroyed, we have the ultimate solution for that. Borreload Dragon is a link 4 that we can very easily make that just gets rid of any monster our opponent controls by stealing it without targeting. We can just attack that monster, and then during the damage step, we can just grab it. And even though it does kind of stop the attack of Warlord itself because it activates during the damage step, so you can't choose another attack target. You just get rid of whatever your opponent has, and that basically wins you the game on its own, especially if you're playing against something like a Leo Dancer. Your opponent will very likely have spent all of their resources to make that single Leo Dancer, and you can just steal it, and your opponent will pretty much lose it because they don't have any follow-up. So yeah, that's basically the deck. It works pretty well. I believe this is probably the best way you could play crystrons. So yeah, let's have a look at the replays that I got to King of Games with. Our hand is really good. Our hand is really good. Undyne plus any number of crystrons is just full combo. Majestic Dragon hand is even better because we're playing 2 copies of Majestic Dragon, so it's fine if we draw one. You just return it back and get ourselves the second one. Let's see, we're always opening with Undyne, right? Undyne is always the play, I feel like. I'm gonna pitch the Soulfifth. It's always Undyne pitch Soulfifth. He did not search the Floodgate. Because when he summoned the Morning Star, he didn't have any cards in hand. So I'm assuming that either he misplayed, or that was Floodgate. But either way, we could pop it pretty easily, I think. We just have to kind of work around it. So the way we're gonna play around the Floodgate, if he has the Floodgate, is to have Roselex in the graveyard and then give ourselves the token, and then we could use Vessel of the Dragon Cycle to grab ourselves a Vishuda, and that's gonna be our out to the back row. But in any case, we're gonna still make the turtle first. And then we're gonna make the security dragon. Actually, we can make security dragon in this zone and then force him to use the Crusadia. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Let's do that. And then we could force him to use the Equimax. Oh, it's Crusadia power. Okay, just no Floodgate. That's even better. No Floodgate. So he did just misplay. I feel like that's what happened. Okay, let's just use Roselex to combo off. Yeah, he just doesn't have. He doesn't have a Crusadia or World Legacy card for him to tribute, so we don't have to worry about the Equimax negate. Yeah, he needs to tribute a Crusadia or World Legacy, and that's neither of them. So we're fine. Okay, now let's just Vishuda to get rid of that Morning Star. And even though that doesn't do anything, that doesn't do a single thing. You can move your monster wherever you want. The Crusadia power is annoying, but honestly it doesn't really affect things too much. We can still make the Unicorn to spin back the Mech Knight. And we're just gonna not summon it in the zone that the Equimax points to. We're gonna do this. And then spin that back. And then we're gonna do the good old Crystron shenanigans of making Ryan on field and ending turn. Because that's always the play if you don't know what to do, or if you can't win that turn. In any situation, if you can't win, you just make Ryan and pass. That's always the play. Oh wait, I forgot that I'm not playing a Metrics. So actually this run does nothing because I don't have a level 3 monster that's banished. So this run kinda just sits there. I just realized. But that's fine. I think we still win. Yeah, what is he gonna do? He could banish the Nightfall and grab a Mech Knight, but like he can't summon the Mech Knight in the Link arrow. He can't summon the Mech Knight at all. He doesn't have a column. There's just no columns for him. What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? You could grab red, you could grab whatever. I think the only way he could win is if he grabs the vanilla, but like he already normal summoned the Arborea, so he can't even summon the vanilla. Yeah, that's what I thought. You see, there's no columns. Fossils, I think that's an easy win, especially now that we have Minecon in hand. And it's just a free win, unless he sets free, and in which case we will have a bit of a problem, but you know, it's kind of fine. Actually, we have a couple of ways to do things. We could just we could just special summon the Adhara and make the Link 1 and then mill the Vishuddha and force him to activate the back row. Or we can just normal summon the Fistfern and then special summon Majestic Dragon and then make Phoenix to force the back row. Let's do the first option, which is Adhara. Because we don't have to commit if we do that. And then we just make the Link 1 10E, and then we mill the Vishuddha. And unfortunately, we don't really have. Oh, we don't have a delay. Why? What could he possibly have? Yeah, we don't have another card to grab with Vessel because we drew that Hara, but that's fine. That's honestly fine. That's completely fine. Okay, now we just kind of win, I think. Just Link Climb. He has an activation? What does he have? Is that White Princess? It is white. It is white. Yeah. I have a monster without a level. Yeah, it is definitely white. But if it's white, it's fine. Rastalaga is not affected by white, so we're fine. We're completely fine. We win! Yippee! What are we summoning? Yeah, follow-up Fistburn. Let's go. Normally I wouldn't win because Crystron monsters have levels and also Synchro monsters have levels, but because we're playing an actual good version of Crystrons, we're fine. Yeah, we've solved the mystery of whatever the card in hand is, and once we know that it's definitely white, we're chilling. Okay, now we'll make Rastalaga, and then the delays are going to suddenly disappear. See, just no more delay, and now we just do this, and then we just attack. It's that simple. I'm gonna be really sad if he reveals that he has a Kiteroid or something. Yeah, he is playing Kiteroid, so for all we know, he could have both White Princess and Kiteroid, and that is gonna be pretty annoying to say the least. But we managed to win. Oh, it's the final game against Yubel. We're going second. Oh, we love going second. We love playing against Yubel. We love it. Wow, that's a really good hand. And unless he has 3 set cards and all 3 of them are really good, we're going to win this one. You know, our deck is specifically designed to counter Yubel. There's so many things in this deck that counters anything that any monsters that Yubel puts up. Like we have Minecon. We have the Vishuddha package, which just bounces the Fusion monster. We have Security Dragon that bounces. We have Nightmare Unicorn that spins. We even have a Boroload Dragon just in really specific situations where any of our stuff doesn't work. If our opponent's monster can't be targeted and destroyed, we can just use Boroload and just steal it. Oh, no back row! You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. Okay, let's see. How are we gonna sequence this? I think we just Minecon first before anything, right? Let's just take the ultimate nightmare. Okay, let's think about the combo. We're gonna Undyne, I think. Undyne is probably the best one. And then we pitch the Fist Burn. He has a card in hand, which is worrying. If it's a Veiler, it's fine. We just need to bait the Veiler before we commit to Rastaliger. He's thinking if he should let me grab the Undyne, and he lets me. That's okay. Okay, we're gonna Fist Burn grab Rose Snakes, I feel like. And then we're gonna make the Unicorn to bait him to use the Veiler on the Unicorn. And he's gonna think that, oh, I negated your Unicorn, now you can't win! And then we just make Vishuda and bounce it back anyway. And then we make Unicorn and we discard the Mermail. And then he's gonna, oh, I'm so smart, I have Veiler in my hand. Let's see you deal with my Veiler. And then we just combo off anyway. We have so many free summons. As long as he doesn't have a lot of back row, we could pretty much win against any deck. I think we just make another Fist Burn, I think. Yeah, just make another Fist Burn. And then we use Rose Snakes to grab us up. Look at all the free summons. It's just the amount of free advantage we're getting is insane. We even have a shooter in hand so we can use their skill. We can use the skill to grab ourselves another free monster. Look at all the free stuff we're getting. It's actually insane how much advantage this deck is able to make on a good day. We just make Rastaliger, right? There we go. There we go. And we could even still make it link free. We just return the controller and get ourselves a Majestic Dragon. There's just so much we could do because our opening hand was so good. Let's go!